Good morning, students. So, in the last class, we were seeing about which algorithm we have seen in the last class. So, we were seeing about
SJF.
SJF, and again in SJF, it was primitive and non-primitive.
Priority non-primitive.
Yeah, primitive and non-primitive, and we have seen some examples. So, how to solve and how to draw a Gantt chart and how to solve. And we have, for all the examples, we have written a waiting time and a turnaround time along with the average throughput. So now we start with the priority scheduling. So what is priority scheduling? So priority, based on the priority, the CPU time will be allocated for that process. That's what is called as a priority scheduling. Priority scheduling means what? A priority scheduling where based on the priority, CPU time will be given for that process is called as a priority scheduling. Take an example. If I am standing in a queue, then principal comes to the same queue, then who has priority? Who has higher priority? Principal will be having higher priority. Then we will send, we'll leave the space to the principal to move forward. Okay, so this is where the priority of principal is higher than the staff. That's why the priority is given. So in the same way, so based on the priority, the process will be given. That's an example here. So now coming back, what is priority scheduling? We'll just have a look about what is priority scheduling. Priority scheduling is a special case of general priority scheduling algorithm. It is a special case where we are just seeing what is a priority queue. A priority is associated with each process. So each process will be having a priority. And the CPU is allocated to the process with higher priority. So that's what I told. Whichever is having higher priority, that will be given a CPU time. So if in case, let me say, two staff come in the same priority, same line, then who will be given a priority? How will be the priority will be given? Two staffs are there. Me and one more, my colleague, stand in the same queue. Then who should be given higher priorities? How should be priority allocated? How should we allocate? So based on first come first serve, who has entered first to the queue, they will be served first. That's what here equal priority process are scheduled in a first come first serve order. So first point, what we have to remember, what is priority queue? Whichever is process having high priority will be executed first. In case if two process have a equal priority, means what? Which one will be executed first? First come first serve. Whichever algorithm, whichever process has come first, they will be getting the CPU time. That's what equal priority. Then how do we differentiate this with the SGF, shortest job first? In the shortest job first, whichever was having shortest job, that was given the CPU time. Whereas here priority, whichever is having a priority, that will be given the CPU time. That's what here SJF is a priority algorithm where priority is nothing but it is a burst time. So here in SJF also, what is the, it is also one type of priority, but what we have considered in SJF, we have considered a completion time. What is the time taken for the process to complete? That's what a burst time. And a smaller burst time, higher the priority. The priority status is normally treated as a lower the number, the higher the priority. Okay, so then we'll just look about what is a priority. Priority scheduling can also be primitive and non-primitive. So what is primitive and what is non-primitive? Primitive means what? Before my work is completed, I may leave the CPU time. That's what primitive is. Non-primitive, until unless my work is done, I will not leave the CPU. That's what is called as a non-primitive. In non-primitive, normally the priorities of all the processes are known before. That is, here we assume that all the processes have arrived at the same time. That's what they say. Generally, if it is a non-primitive, we assume that all the processes have entered into the queue at the same time, and the CPU is assigned based on their priorities. But sometimes all the process may not enter the ready queue at the same time. While one process is running, another process with a higher priority than the concurrently executing process may enter the ready queue. then the currently executing process have to be pre-emitted. So here pre-emission will be based on the arrival of a new job with a high priority. This is somewhat similar to a pre-emittive SJF where new jobs with a lesser burst was given the time. So this is about just explanation about the priority queue. So what is priority queue? A priority queue which is having higher priority will given a time first. Okay, we'll take an example, it will be clear. Okay, so now you can see there are how many processes in this example? There are 5 processes. How many are there? 5. Along with that, they have given a 2 columns here. I have arrived at the time 0. So what we are assuming, all these are arrived at the time at the same time in that order. So in which order? P1 first, P2, P3 order also we have maintained, and the priorities also they have given, and the burst time are given as below. First burst time means what? Completion time required for the process to complete, and the priorities also given. So 3, 1, 4, 5, 2, and the burst time for each process is 10 based on those 10, 1, 2, 1, 5. Okay, process, how many process we have? We have 5 process here. Okay, so now how do we apply? Which one should be executed first? Which one should be executed first here? Which process? There are 5 process here. Which process should we execute first here?
Highest
Yes, sir.
priority, ma'am.
Highest priority. Which is having highest priority here?
P4, ma'am.
P2.
P2. Okay, after P2, which one? After P2, which one will be executed?
P5. P5.
Yeah, P5. After P5?
P1.
P1.
P1. After that? After that?
P3.
P3 and?
P4.
P3 and P4.
Yeah, yes, right. So here what we are doing is, based on the priority, we are trying to execute the process. So, okay, first what is our, they'll give you this in your exam. This will be your question for your exam. What is your first step? What you have to do first step? First step, what you have to do? Write a Gantt chart for this one. First, what is your first step? You have to write a Gantt chart for this one. So now you told me which one will you execute first? P2. So first you have to draw P2. 0. And what is the time taken for the P1 to complete? What is the time for completion? For P2, sorry, P2. How much
1
is the
second.
time? 1 millisecond. 1 millisecond time is required for a high priority process P2. Now P2 is our high priority. Time taken is 1. So write 1. After that, which process will get the CPU time? P5. Yes, P5 is the next highest priority. What is the time taken for that? 5 milliseconds.
5 milliseconds.
Like this, you have to draw a Gantt chart. So that's what here you can see. This is what a Gantt chart for your example. The first step, what you have to do for any given, any algorithm you take. First, you have to draw a Gantt chart based on the algorithm. So P2 is the first highest priority. So what is the time taken? 0 you start. What is the time? 1. Okay, after 1, which one was the highest priority? 5. So 5 was taking how much time? Write that. So after that, which is the next priority? P1. So write how much time it was required? 10. 10 millisecond was the time taken by P1. So 6 to 16 is the time. 10. So now after that, P3. After that, P4. P3, how much time is required? P3 is 2, P5 is 5. So based on that, you just calculate them and start writing. P3 is 2, P4 is 1. Yes, clear? Clear about drawing a Gantt chart? Okay. So now, how to write a waiting time? What is the waiting time for P1? What is the waiting time for P1? How much time P1 has to wait for to get the CPU?
6 seconds. 6 milliseconds.
Yes, 6 milliseconds. Why? Because P2 has to complete, P5 has to complete, so 6. Okay, P2? P2 how much is wait? 0. P3? P3 how much time?
16.
Yes, good.
16.
Then P4?
18.
18, right. Then P5,
1.
yeah. So add all of them. How many? 5 by 5 here divided by 5. Why 5?
5 processor.
Yeah, 5 processor. So add all of them. Here in our example, there are 5 processor. Divide by them. That will give you 8.2. What is this 8.2? That is the average waiting time. Yes. So how many process we have? 5 process. And what we have to calculate for any given example, we have to calculate average waiting time, average turnaround time, and throughput. This is what we have to do. Okay, now come for turnaround time. What is turnaround time? What is a turnaround time? What do you
Completion of the
Total
process.
completion of time, ma'am.
A completion of time required for
Total
that
completion of the
process.
time.
Yes. Okay, now come to first one, P1. What is the completion time for P1?
16.
16.
So what time P1 will complete? At the time 16 millisecond P1 will be completed. Okay, P2? P2?
1 second. 1
One.
millisecond.
P3?
18.
18 milliseconds.
18 millisecond. P4? P4?
19.
19.
Yes. Yes, right. Then P5?
6.
Okay, so add all of them divided by 5 equals to your average turnaround time. So that is 12 milliseconds. Okay, turnaround time. What is what is your throughput? What is throughput? What is a throughput? Complete time. Yes, number of processors. How many processors we have? 5. 5 divided by number of time taken to complete all 5. Yes. So what is the complete time to complete all the process? What's the complete
19.
time required to complete all 5 process?
19.
19, right? 19. How many process? 5. 5 divided by 19 is what? 0.26. So this is how you have to calculate average waiting time, average turnaround time, and throughput based on the algorithm, and you see what they have given. Sometimes they'll say primitive, sometimes they'll say non-primitive. So you should be careful enough. So here, what is this example we have solved? This is non-primitive or primitive? Whether this is primitive or non-primitive? What type of algorithm we have solved right now? Whether it is primitive or non-primitive?
Non-primitive.
Yeah, non-primitive.
Non-primitive, ma'am.
Non-primitive.
Non-primitive, ma'am.
Non-primitive. Why non-primitive? Because unless it completes the job, it is not removed out. So that's the reason it is called as a non-primitive. You can blindly remember. So here we have only one time. All processors are only one time. You can say anytime repeated any process. Once it is entered into the CPU, next time it is repeated, no. Then that type of thing is called as a non-primitive. Clear about this? Clear? Shall we move on to the next?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm stressing you one algorithm and one example is 100%. I'll guarantee you one will be there in your final exam. I'm speaking about final exam. Out of scheduling algorithm, any one will be compulsory. So till today, how many algorithms we have seen? Scheduling algorithms. What was the first one we have seen? What was the first algorithm we have seen? Scheduling. Yes, anyone. What was the first scheduling algorithm we have seen? First come, first serve. Second one is
First,
shortest job first. Shortest job first. Then priority queue. So today what we have seen? We have seen priority queue. Yes, fine. Again, within these three only, we have something called as a primitive and non-primitive. Yes. Okay.
non-primitive.
Yes, fine. We'll move on. We'll move on to the next example. Okay, hope so you have understood this. So I'll just repeat fast. We have 5 processes here. Assuming that all the process enter the ready queue at the same time, the time taken for the completion is called as a burst time. P1 takes a time 10, P2 takes 1, P3 takes 2, P4 takes 1, P5 takes 5. and what is the priority given. So priorities, P1 is 3, P2 is 1, P3 is 4, P4 is 5, P5 is 2. So because this is a priority algorithm, first we have to execute 1. P2 will be executed first. After P2, P5 will be executed. After P5, P1 will be executed. Then P3, then P5. First, you draw a Gantt chart based on the algorithm what it is. So Gantt chart for this is this one. After that, calculate the average waiting time, calculate the turnaround time, calculate the throughput. This is a one which you have to do for any algorithm. So for all, it may be anything, but first step where you may go wrong is first you see whether it is a primitive or non-primitive. Then you draw a Gantt chart based on the algorithm. What type of algorithm it is, whether it is a first come first serve, whether it is a shortest job, whether it is a priority, or next one is a round robin. We'll see them. So the days pass, we'll see what type of priority, what are the queue scheduling algorithms we see. For anything, you have to draw a average waiting time, average turnaround time, and throughput. This you have to calculate. This example, I have made it short. At least you would have seen in the earlier examples, we have written separately waiting time, P1 waiting 2 waiting time, because I know that at least now, by now, you are increased your fast. We have increased our fast. We know what is waiting time, what is. So that's the reason we have I have written directly in this one. All combined and written. Okay. So next, this was a non-primitive priority queue. Next, we move on to next example. So here we will see. Here how many process we have? We have 4 process. In the earlier example, we were having only 2 columns. You remember we were having only burst time and a priority. Like, whereas in this example, we have one more column added that is called as a arrival time. At what time that process arrived the ready queue. Okay, then what they are asking, a burst time and a priority has been given as follows: compute average waiting time and a turnaround time. That's what we have to do for any given algorithm. Okay, so now, so how do you execute this one? Before I move on, because we have already done 2, third also, priority 1 also we have done. Okay, let me come back. So give me which process you will execute first. Which process is having highest priority?
P4.
P4.
P3, ma'am.
Which one is highest?
P3, ma'am.
P4. P4.
P4. 1, 2, 3. Don't get confused. Not with the numbers.
Okay, okay.
P4
Okay.
is a highest priority. Second one is 2.
P2,
Next is
P2,
3.
ma'am.
Next is 4. Okay. But here what is extra? We have arrival time. At what time it is arrived? So at the time 0, which one has arrived first?
P1.
P1.
Okay. At the time. Okay, at the time. What happened? Okay, so at that time 0, you can see here at the time 0, there are no other process. So we cannot make CPU to wait. So then what? This P1 will be sent to the execution. Yes, getting, though it is priority 3, why we are small changes here. Earlier case, what was the assumption? Earlier example, what was the assumption? What was the assumption in the earlier example? All process arrived to the ready queue at the same time. Yes, that was the assumption. Because it was assumed, so based on the priority, we were able to execute. But this time, in this example, what extra we have? We have each process arriving the ready queue at a different time. At a different time, it is arriving. Okay, so at P1 arrives at the time 0 and will be given a CPU time. So how much time P1 is requiring to complete its process? It requires 8 milliseconds. And the priority for that is 3. Okay. Then P2 will arrive at what time? 1. At what time P2 will be arriving? At 1 millisecond. P1, P2 will be arriving to a ready queue. Okay, which one is in the CPU? Which one is in the CPU for execution? P1.
P1 and P2.
P1 will be in execution. P1 and P2 are in ready queue. Which process is executing or is in CPU? Only P1 is in CPU. P1 and P2 are in ready queue. Yes. Okay. Now P1 is executing in the process. Now what we have to compare? What we have to compare?
Priority.
Yes. In shortest job, we were comparing a shortest job, but here we have to compare the priority. Which one is having high priority? 2 or 3? Which one is having
2.
high priority?
P2, ma'am.
P2, because it is having a high priority. Then what we have to do? Remove the process P1, push back to the, where it has to push back? Where it has to push back?
The memory.
Ready queue.
Yeah, ready queue. Okay. So what we have to do here, this is a 8 time, and at 1 millisecond, P2 has arrived, and compare these two priorities. So comparing these two priority, we know that this 2 is having higher priority than this one. So what we have to do? Bring back this to the ready queue. Yes, getting? Okay. So now this will be executing. P2 will be executing. Okay, after 2 milliseconds, P3 is arriving ready queue. Yes. So now ready queue. What is the priority? Now compare again these two. Yes or no? We have to compare, right? At the time 2 milliseconds, these arrived a ready queue, and compare P2 and P3. Which is having high priority? P2 and P3. Which is having high priority? P2 or P3?
P2,
P3.
Which is
P2.
having high priority? Which is
P2,
having high
ma'am. P2.
Huh?
2, ma'am.
Yeah,
P2.
P2. So P2 will be executing. P3 will not be given a CPU time. Okay. At 3 milliseconds, P4 is arriving a ready queue. Now compare this and this. By this time, this P2 will be completed, or still it is in a ready queue. Why? Because 4 milliseconds, right? Okay. Now you say which is having the highest priority. Compare P2 and P4. Now which one? Which is having high
1,
priority?
ma'am.
Yes. So P4 is having a high priority. Yes. Now what we have to do? Remove this. Remove P2 and push back to the ready queue. And P3 will be executing. Getting what I am saying? Able to understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So in this example, what we are doing, arrival time is different. That's the reason, based on the arrival time, and this is primitive thing we are applying here. Yes. So whereas in the last example, arriving time is 0, and we are applying for a non-primitive. This is for arrival times are different, and we are applying for a primitive priority queue. So once whichever is having a highest priority will given the CPU time. CPU time for execution. Okay, now at least you'll be able to draw a Gantt chart for this. Will you be able to draw a Gantt chart for this? Help me out.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let us draw here. Okay, now what is the thing we have? Sorry. Straight line. How to draw a straight line? Assume my straight line is a straight line. I'll try to draw. Okay. Okay. Now what time? At the time what? At the time 0. Who has entered the CPU? This is our
P1.
CPU. CPU. P1 is entered. What is P1 time taken?
0.
P1 will be taking how much time? 8 milliseconds. But
8
still we have not
milliseconds.
done. And now P2 is arriving. At what time P2 is arriving? at 1
4
millisecond.
milliseconds.
Compare 3 and 2. Which one is high priority? 2, right?
P2.
P2. So now at the time 1, P1 will be moved out, P2 will be given the CPU time. What is the time given for P2? Because why? Why we are giving P2 to the CPU? Based on priority. Okay, now at that time 2 millisecond, who is arriving? P3 is arriving.
P3, ma'am.
What is the priority? What is the priority queue? What is the priority for P2 and P3? Which is having high priority?
P2, ma'am.
P2 only. So now we are not pre-emitting P2 because P2 only is having high priority than P3. So P2 will be continuing. Okay, then P4 is arriving. Yes. So at some time P4 is arriving. At what time P4 is arriving? At 3 milliseconds P4 is arriving. Okay, what is? Compare the P2 and P4's priorities. Which one is having high priority? P2 or P4?
P4.
P4.
P4 is having high priority. Then remove this P2, give P4. What we have to do? Remove that, give the P4. So P4, how much time it will take? How much time P4 is taking? 5. Yes?
5 milliseconds.
5 milliseconds. So that's what here, this is a time. Burst time means how much time it is required to complete its work, process work. This is what the time. So now P4 will complete because it is having a high priority. So 5. 3 plus 5 is how much? 3 plus 5 is how much?
8.
8. So till 8, the CPU will be getting the time. Okay, now what next? Which one will be my next, this one? Which one should I give
P2.
the P2? P2 is completed its work or not?
Only 1 second, 1 millisecond.
Yeah. So now again P2. After P2, which one should we give?
P3 is arriving.
Which
P3.
one? After P1, P4 is completed. P2 we have given. After P2 completion, which one should I give?
P1.
P1.
P1. After
P1.
P1, the last one is what? Which one?
P3.
P3. So this is what a Gantt chart we have to draw for this one. Yes, able to draw. This is the first step. We have to do it for any of the thing. Okay. So the same thing you can see in the next slide what we have drawn. This is the explanation. You want me to read out the same thing? What I've explained is just explanation because the people who are absent should be able to understand my PPTs by at least reading. Okay. So note that the process P1 with the high priority arrived at the time 0 and no other process is in the ready queue. Hence it will be given a CPU. But after 1 millisecond, the P2 arrives with a higher priority than P1. P1 arrives and so P1 has to be pre-emitted and P2 will give the CPU time. When P2 is under execution, P3 arrives at that time 2, but its priority is lower than P2. Hence P2 will continue to execute. Later P4 arrives at the time 3 milliseconds, having higher priority than the currently executing P2. So P2 will be pre-emitted, P4 gets the CPU. Thus P4 will finish job before all the process. Now the remaining process will be executed based on that priority. So that's what you can see here. First P1, for 1 millisecond P1 will be executing. And P2 will come because P2 was having higher priority than P1. So P1 will be pre-emitted, P2 will be given time. Then next execution will be P3. But P3 is having lower priority than P2. So P3 will not be given CPU time. And P4 will come at 3 milliseconds. Compare P2 and P4, which is having high priority. P4 was having high priority. So P4 will be given the CPU time. Then after P4, P2 and P1 and P3. Clear about this? Okay. So now come back. we have to calculate the waiting time here. And always you see the waiting time calculation and turnaround time calculation will be small changes for primitive and non-primitive. Non-primitive, it is very easy because the time the CPU will not be removed until the completion is over. Whereas in primitive, complete as soon as the priorities comes, it will be removed. So be careful in calculating a waiting time for primitive algorithms. Yes. So primitive. Now come back. P1, waiting time for P1. So waiting time, as soon as it has, what is the time completed by P1? At what time P1 is completing? So wait, it has to wait till 10. So 10, but 10 means already till 1 minute it is completed. So 10 minus 1 is the completed duration. Completed duration means it is waiting. Then arrival minus 0. So now the waiting time for P1 is 9 milliseconds. Same way P2. So see here P2, what time, till what time it has to wait? It has to wait till 8. But in between also it has it got a CPU time for its execution. So at minus 2. So what is this minus 2? What is this minus 2? The time taken to complete. It has taken 3 minus 1 is 2. 8 minus 2. What is this 8? It was waiting for the next time. Next time it was waiting to get the CPU. So 8 minus 2 minus arrival time. What was the arrival time for P2 was 1. So minus 1. So do all this calculation, that is 5. In the same way, P3, what was the waiting time? 17. And minus 2. What is this? 2. Arrival time is 15. P4, what was the P4 time? As soon as it entered, it got the CPU time. Why? Because it was having a higher priority. So the waiting time is 0. Add all of them, divided by 4 equal to 7.25 is the average waiting time. Same way, can we calculate the turnaround time? Okay, let me give me turnaround times. Turnaround time for P1. What is the turnaround time for P1 here? Yes, help me out.
Right now.
Turnaround time is what? What is the turnaround time?
17.
Yeah, correct. 17. 17. 17. 17 minus
1.
17
1,
minus
ma'am.
1. Sure.
1.
That's all.
Yes, ma'am.
Now you're saying 16. According to you, it is 16. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let us see how did we calculate. Okay, that was correct. So 17 was total time minus arrival time. So here in this case, the arrival time was 0. So it is 17. Turnaround time for P2 is what? Turnaround time means completion. Completion of P2. Completed at what time? What milliseconds? 10 milliseconds.
10.
What was the arrival
Yes,
time?
ma'am.
What was the arrival time? Arrival time was 1. So it is 9. So like that you calculate for P3. P3 completed at 26 minus 2. Why minus 2? That is arrival time for that process is 24. Then turnaround time for P4, 8 minus 3, arrival time 5. So then add all of them, divided by 4, that is 13.75. Then throughput. What is throughput? What is throughput? So time taken to complete all work of all the process. How many process we were having? How many process we were having? We were having 4 process. And how much time it took to complete all the process were 26. So 4 divided by 26. So that's what your turnaround time. Okay. So this was your priority queue. So next, before moving on to the next algorithm was a round robin. So before that, we have small things here, because let us see what was the thing. In case, let us take the priority scheduling has one drawback. The lower priority process may never get executed. Suppose let me take 10. So 10 was my priority for one process. Okay. It will not get, because till 9 process priorities will be getting CPU time. Then how long it has to wait? It should keep waiting, right? So this problem is called as a starvation. So if I don't have, suppose let me take 10 friends of you are there, and one is not eating, other 9 are eating, then what? He'll be starved. Means he'll not get any food. That's what is called as a starvation here. So in this case, to solve this, what is a problem we have come up is, as high priority process keeps getting added to a ready queue, the lower priority process will indefinitely delay in getting the CPU time. So then in such situation, what we have to do, either the process will run only when the system becomes free, or eventually it may crash with all unfinished process. So to solve this starving, what we have to do is, to solve this problem, there is a remedy called as a aging. What is this aging is, here the priority of the process will be increased as the time passes. Hence, an initial lower priority process will eventually become higher priority process and get the CPU time. So what it means is, starvation means what? I keep waiting. One day over, I'm not getting a chance. Second day over, I'm not getting a chance. Suppose let me take, I have a lower priority thing. In that case, my time will not get only. Then how long should I wait? So in that case, what is the problem to solve this is, suppose let me say half day is over, I didn't get the CPU time. Then what I'll do, I'll increase my priority. Yes. Okay, another half day I was waiting, one more priority will increase. Suppose I am 10. So half day over, I didn't get CPU. Then what I'll do, I'll increase my priority to 9. Okay. So then another half day I'll wait. If I am not getting, then I'll increase my priority to 8. Like this, we are increasing. That is what is called as aging. Clear about this? Starvation and aging. What is starvation? What is starvation? They may ask you in your interviews, what is starvation and what is aging? Maybe you may expect this in your placement. So what is starvation and what is aging? So what is starvation? When the lower priority keeps waiting and it will not get a CPU time, that is what is called as a starvation. To solve starvation, what we have? We have aging. What is aging? It will increase the priorities. So today, maybe half day. Maybe we may even make it to 1 hour. 1 hour I'll wait. If I don't get my time, after 1 hour, if my priority is 10, after 1 hour I'll make it to 9. After 1 hour I'll make it to 8. After 1 hour I'll make it to 7. Like this, I keep increasing my priority. That is what is called as aging. Clear about this? Hope so you're clear, and my time is running out. So that's what we have done. So now we have completed with 3 algorithms. One is first come first serve. This is what scheduling algorithm. In this we have completed first come first serve, and we have taken some examples for that, both primitive and non-primitive, and we have seen the disadvantage. And we have seen second algorithm, that is the shortest job first. Whichever is having small time, that will be given the CPU time. In this also we have done with the primitive and the non-primitive. And today we have started with a priority scheduling. In this also we have done with the 2 example, one with the